Imagine suddenly being speared with a high-powered rifle harpoon. Imagine having your flesh ripped back and your head torn off. Imagine being torn away from your family. Imagine after all that agony, dying from suffocation. This is the ruthless reality for thousands of whales every year, all in the name of Japanese scientific research. Because of this atrocious act, 6 out of 13 species of whale have become endangered. Whales are intelligent and beautiful creatures that live in harmony. So why the hell are they being killed for no apparent reason? The immoral and inhumane practices of whaling pose a risk to individual animals as well as whole species whose numbers are small. Whales play an important role in helping control the flow of food by preserving food chains, as well as helping offset pollutant carbon in the atmosphere. In fact, whales extract an estimated 400 tons of carbon from the air every year. Despite this, the International Whaling Commission estimates that Antarctic minke whales have declined throughout the Southern Ocean by 30%. During the late 1940s and the mid-1960s, whale meat was the single biggest source of meat in Japan. However, since the 2009 poll commissioned by Greenpeace and conducted by the independent Nippon Research Center found that 95% of Japanese people very rarely or never eat whale meat, and the amount of unfrozen whale meat stockpiled in Japan has doubled 400,600 tons between 2002 and 2012. This has resulted in a drop from 230,000 tons in 1962 to 4,246 tons of whale meat consumed in 2009, according to the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. This gives me peace of mind, as whale meat is riddled with mercury and other pollutants, which pose serious detrimental threats to human health, affecting fetal development, including infant immune function, neural development, and memory, as well as increasing the risk of developing Parkinson's and hypertension in adults. Despite the Japanese government's limit for mercury in seafood set to 0.4 per part million, and out of 20 samples of cetacean products tested by the Environmental Agency in 2015, found that every single one exceeded this limit, with the highest toxicity level found was 19 per part million in longfin pilot from Tahiti, which was a staggering 47.5 times the government's limit. Furthermore, it has been concluded that whale-based tourism returns greater economic benefits than whaling, according to Stephen Waring, an associate professor from the University of Technology in Sydney, who noted that participation in whale watching grew from 9 million tourists in Japan in 2001 to 13 million in 2008, with revenues rising from 1 billion to 2.1 billion per annum over that period. Mr. Waring stated that a transition from hunting to viewing would be a way out for everyone, both in terms of economics and national pride. He asserted that whaling relies heavily on state and private subsidies. Indeed, it is clear that whale watching makes much more economic sense than hunting them, as the state-supported whaling industry in Japan has made consistent losses over the past 20 years, an estimated $223 million since 1988. Wouldn't you rather see whales swimming freely in the open ocean than on your plate? Some would argue that banning whaling displays a culturally based bias, as it's socially accepted for people to eat meats such as chicken and beef. Why is whale meat any different? Whale meat is not a commercial commodity, whereas consumption of other poultry serves a valid purpose in society, providing a source of protein and iron, and to some extent, we're even more conscious of what we are consuming. While animal cruelty does occur, in developed states there are more checks and balances put in place regulating such cruelty. Further, a chicken can be killed through a controlled atmosphere sunning, which involves CO2 to make the birds unconscious, eliminating the distress of chickens. However, no such humane and moral methods of whale hunting exist. In fact, the International Fund for Animal Welfare said that whaling hunting methods have not improved noticeably for 70 years. The arguments for this senseless killing do not add up, and allowing Japan to continue this barbaric practice is concerning. When Cecil the lion was killed in Zimbabwe by a recreational American shooter, there was an international outrage. As a result, 2 subspecies of lion in India and Western and Central Africa were added to the endangered species list, which includes sessile species, making it more difficult for US citizens to legally kill these lions. Unfortunately, we cannot say the same for whales. They continue to be disseminated for unjustifiable reasons, while the world simply watches. It's a sick saga for this magnificent country whose kind and friendly people have so many interesting cultural practices from centuries ago. Consuming whale meat is just not one of them. Are you going to continue turning a blind eye to this demeaning and atrocious animal crime at the hands of humankind? Thank you.